As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elesmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Hello and welcome to episode 46 of Running the Red Line. I am your host Brett, and I am here as always with my co-host Andy, who looks as snug as a bug in a rug this morning. How are you doing, mate?
Well, it is ridiculously dull outside. It is duller than the dishwater outside, isn't it? And it's just one of those December mornings where it's just so grey and dreary and drizzly and horrible. So I've got one of these on, right? Have you got an hoodie or an hoodie, whatever they're called?
I haven't, no.
It's like a hoodie that's like a dressing gown. And in the winter, I basically just live in it. Laura got one, and I thought, oh, that's a bit, Now the joke's on me because I just never take it off. But I've actually got my own one now, and it's like fleece lined inside.
Yeah,
I'm not on commission, by the way. I'm not, hashtag not sponsored. It's like proper big kangaroo, big pockets, and I just live in it all the time. Well, in this weather anyway, especially when I'm like working from home and just lounging around the house and stuff. I just love wearing it. It's really It's really nice.
Is it one of those items that you say, "Oh, never have one of them," and then you get one and go, "Oh, actually, it's quite good."
I couldn't imagine life without it. Yeah, it is. It's just that it's just always hanging on the back of my bedroom door, and it's just the first thing I pick up when in the morning. But no, it is horrid outside, and it's so grey and dull, isn't it? It just looks like. It's just wintry. It just looks like if you could draw a picture postcard of the UK winter, you would draw today.
Yes. Yeah. Wet and drab and horrible. Yeah.
No sun in the sky. Yeah.
Your hoodie is a bit like last Christmas. I gave you my heart. No, last Christmas, my sister decided to buy everyone a pair of Crocs, and I was like,
"Are you anti-Crocs?"
I always said I would never have a pair of Crocs. They just look ridiculous. But everybody always says about how comfy they are and everything. But she bought everyone a pair of Crocs, and they've now become my slippers that I wear in the house. They don't leave the house.
Okay.
They don't leave the house.
Is that a style? Is that a style choice, or is that a practicality choice? You don't want to be seen walking around in them.
Mainly a style choice, because I just everyone you see walking around anywhere wearing Crocs just look ridiculous. It looks like they haven't taken their slippers off and they've forgot to put their shoes on.
I see your Crocs and I raise you clogs. Because I've got some clogs.
Like, as in proper wooden clogs from Holland?
No, not proper wooden clogs, no. Like, I've got these rubbery, they're like slip-on, they look like outdoor slippers, basically, because you just slip your foot through straight into them. But they're like rubber clogs. And they're, again, just such a versatile utility shoe. They're just absolutely brilliant, perfect for, I'll take the dog out on them sometimes, or... Yeah, they're quite useful. I've driven in them. I've been to the supermarket in them before.
Oh,
covered in things like paint and all the jobs that I've done in the garden and stuff like that. But you probably know by now. I don't really care about the way I look. I don't have. I've got zero standards, so I'll wear me clogs.
Yeah.
To Morrison's. I've got no problems with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't really want to wear mine elsewhere. I just feel they feel like an indoor pair of shoes to me, a pair of Crocs. So yeah, I'll always put on a pair of trainers before I leave the house. But here's an interesting thing for you about Crocs. So, have you ever seen a film called Idiocracy?
No.
So, it's a film made in the early 2000s, and it was written by Mike Judge. I don't know if you know who that is. So, he's the guy who created Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill.
Right. Yeah.
So, it was written by Mike Judge, and it stars the main actor in it is Luke Wilson, which is Owen Wilson's brother.
Yeah.
Wow. And basically the storyline, the concept of it is Luke Wilson's character is just an everyday average Joe. He's got a normal factory job and everything, and he's just a normal guy. Yeah. But everyone in the world, all of the intelligent people in the world, are concentrating on their career and their work. So they're not having babies. Whereas all the stupid people in the world are just producing lots and lots of children.
Right.
And Luke Wilson's character falls into a cryogenic freezing chamber and wakes up in the future. Yeah. And all of the intelligent people have died out. And because all the stupid people have carried on reproducing, the world is just full of stupid people. And when he wakes up in this future world, he is the most intelligent man on the earth.
Okay.
But even though he's just an average Joe nowadays. But the thing I wanted to say is when they were creating the film, the director wanted some footwear for all of the futuristic world to wear that looked a bit silly. And he was like, I want something that looks futuristic, but is ridiculous. And he said he found a new upstart company that was really small shoe company that just started from Boulder in Colorado.
I think I know where this is going. Yeah.
And he said, those are perfect. So he got in touch with the company. They supplied him with all of the shoes for all of the stupid people in the future. And somebody said to him, but what happens if those shoes in the future become really popular? And he went, become popular? Look at them. They're never going to become popular. Yeah. And they were Crocs.
Wow.
So if you watch that film, the ridiculous shoes that all the futuristic people are wearing are Crocs.
What a business move that was from the CEO of that company to say, yeah, we'll be a laughingstock of this film. Yeah. Because we still believe that they're going to be popular, even though you think they're stupid.
Yeah.
They're massive now, Crocs, aren't they?
I know.
What blows my mind is you can buy like designer Crocs that are like upwards of 50 quid. Well, a lot more, can't you?
A normal pair of standard Crocs is 65 quid.
What? I thought you were going to say about 15. Oh my God.
I know.
That changes things. Oh, I thought because I've never ever bought any. So I just assume they're a bit of rubber, with a little heel at the back that's sport mode.
Yeah.
But I just think, 50 or 65 quid? What, have they got Light Strike Pro in them or something? What do you mean 65 quid?
I'm sure they're 65 quid. They might be 55. I don't know. Hang on. Let me have a look. I'm going to have to go.
That's bizarre.
I'm going to have to go to the Crocs website, and
I thought the unique ones, the ones that are like tortoise shell and stuff like that were like, that much.
So hang on, let me have a look. So men's clogs. Let's have a look.
Hang on, Crocs or clogs?
Like Crocs. They're like the normal ones are called clogs because they're basically the same shape as.
Oh, okay.
So your normal clog.
I'm on
Yeah, it's about 50. It's
crocs.co.uk.
about 50 quid.
Yeah, okay. Bloody hell. Classic lined clog, 54.99. You can get a classic clog here, but I don't know what the difference between lined. So the lined one has probably got like a
Oh, it's
fleece
got
line
fur
inside.
lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Look at
so
this,
they're
a
about.
classic Cozzy slipper, 44.99. It's just a Croc slipper version.
Oh yeah, here you go. So all the ones that are based on like popular culture, they're the ones that are 65 quid. So there's like a Nightmare Before Christmas pair here for 65, a Wicked Elphaba pair for 65. So
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
This is blowing my mind. I can't believe they're that expensive. You can get them from JD Sports.
Oh my God, there are some crazy looking things here.
These are... Wow. Have you seen the NASCAR ones? You can get Lightning McQueen ones.
Oh,
137 quid.
The Lightning McQueen ones are incredible, but they sold out instantly.
Yeah.
Apparently they've got headlights on them. Apparently. But I've just found these. Look at the state of these things.
They're actually quite cool.
Don't talk rubbish.
I'd wear them. Look at the stack height on them. They look like them new Pumas.
They're ridiculous.
Have you seen them new Pumas?
Yes, the fast RB, the rule breakers.
Yeah, with like an 8-inch stack height. Yeah,
and they've got 2 carbon plates in them, haven't they?
2? What, front and back?
No, like layered. So they've got 3 layers of foam with 2 plates in.
Wow, that must be stiff to wear that. I'd rather wear Crocs. That must be really stiff to wear them. But in all seriousness, though, so the guy you spoke to at Manchester, the guy that broke the world record. Well, he's since been broken. Crocs must have something in them for you to be able to run a marathon in, because people have proved that it's not impossible. It's obviously not very comfortable, but they must be durable enough to.
Oh yeah.
Do that, because
I will admit they're comfy, like as a pair of slippers, but
oh mate, look at these. Sorry, Toy Story, Woody.
Oh, those ones.
They've got a little hat on them.
I will say they're brilliant.
They've got a little cowboy hat on them. Is that Jesse's hat? Or is that Woody's hat? Yeah, that was pretty cool. Sorry, but yeah. But don't you think like this whole, with like when you think about running, I think you could probably say this for fishing or anything, but everyone just wants a world record now, don't they? Because it's, like it's who's the fastest ever person to dress up as, I don't know, Woody from Toy Story and do a marathon. Like it's cool, but it's also crazy that people are running marathons in Crocs, isn't it? Like I ran. I mean, this is obviously could have just been I don't know what the choice was, but in my last 400 meters, so this guy had run 41.8k faster than me, because I only overtook him on the last 400 meters at Valencia. He was doing it barefoot, a marathon barefoot.
I did see that in your video. You passed someone barefoot. That was.
I'm glad I overtook him. I couldn't have let him beat me. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but did he start way before you, and that's why you only overtook him at the end?
Yeah, he could have started the day before, couldn't he? I don't know. Imagine running a marathon barefoot. That is crazy. That is bonkers, on tarmac as well. I once saw, and I thought, okay, fair play. I once did a park run, and it was in this sort of weather, so it was all soft on the ground and quite muddy, at Ross-on-Wye, down in, where's that? Herefordshire somewhere. And there was a guy who's like, welcome to Brian, who's doing his 100th park run, but he's doing it barefoot. I thought, oh, bloody hell. And he beat me as well. So Brian did his 100th park run barefoot. So, yeah, it can be done, can't it? But it's it's at your expense, and the risk is quite high, isn't it? You know, if you tread on a piece of glass, or if you,
Yeah,
there's all sorts of things that could go wrong. But a marathon barefoot, could you imagine that?
I know. You'd have to put some serious miles into your feet just to get the soles of your feet strong enough and tough
Well,
enough
that's it. Yeah,
to
you can't turn up on marathon day and just take your shoes off and then do it, because you think,
yeah.
oh well, I've done it in training. I'll
Yeah,
just
your soles would be torn up after the first couple of miles.
like you think about the calluses on your, you know, the ball of your feet or the big toe or wherever you've got. You think of the calluses that guy must have had on his heels and his. Oh yeah, that must have been miserable. But yeah, at least it wasn't a Vivo barefoot that I saw
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
overtaking me.
Don't get me started on them. So, you think I think Crocs are bad? Well,
If anyone wants any Christmas ideas, get Brett a pair of Ultras. He loves them. 0 drop, it's not enough. -1 if anything he wants.
yeah, I want reverse drop. I want the front of my feet up in the air.
So, but yeah, that was pretty interesting when I saw that guy barefoot at Valencia. That was pretty. But one thing I forgot, and I think I should mention, because it is a big. We don't get many of these. Today's Friday the 13th.
It is.
Are you a superstitious man? Will you be like ducking and diving under any ladders just to be crazy and test the theory? Will you be putting new shoes on the table today?
No, I won't be doing any of that. I'm not really superstitious, but at the same time, I am. So, like, when I'm out running or just walking anywhere, if there's 3 drains in a row, can't walk over them. I do skip over them or jump over them.
Yeah. There's some things that you just can't get away from. Like, if you have got a choice, you're walking down the street to walk underneath a ladder or walk around it. You won't walk underneath it optionally, will you?
Of course you wouldn't. Yeah.
So if you've got a choice, you probably will avoid these things. But have you got any race day superstitions or any running superstitions?
Ooh.
Anything that you do every race day? You always eat the same breakfast, or obviously we know you like your Adidas kit, but like anything to do with kit or anything you wear or anybody you call, or anything you like that you do?
I don't know really. It's not. I can't think of anything that I always do for every single race. I know that what I tend to do is at the start of a cross-country season, I pick a pair of socks and then I wear that pair of socks for every cross-country race.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
But other than that, I can't think of anything really.
Yeah.
That is a definite. I've got mild OCD as it is. So having even more superstitions that I've got to try and put into a routine just makes it even worse. So
I know one that you do every Birmingham one, and that's to try and be as late as possible. So, like, to be superstitious, to make sure the race goes well, just make it as hard as possible for yourself.
Yeah.
On the leader, on the 3 or 4 minutes before the start line, start way back.
Exactly that. Yeah.
That's a good superstition. So hopefully you'll keep that one up.
Yeah. We also did that at the Kingfisher 10K. I was editing last week. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I started editing the Droitwich half from this year as well. And I started editing the video and I completely forgot. But the first bit of footage I've got is me looking at the camera saying, I don't know how I do it. It's like 5 minutes to the start of the race, and I got here ages ago, and I've only just got ready. I'm not even going to do a warm up or anything. My warm up is going to be on the start line. We're going to have to go. So
I don't know what we were playing at Redditch, because I'm thinking, right, okay, I'll get here fairly early-ish. It's a quiet race, so we can at least go and do 10 minutes or something like that. And I remember thinking, right, we're both ready. It's sort of 9:30, half an hour to go. Next thing I know, it's 30 seconds to 10. and we're just realizing that we haven't done any warm-up or drills or anything. I just think, how has this happened? We've had half an hour. But yeah, sometimes too much preparation is a bad thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
sometimes
definitely.
You can perform well when you stop thinking so much. Because when you have time, you become an overthinker, don't you? If you're like most of us that overthink things. But sometimes when that's taken away from you, when you're almost a little bit stressed and there's a little bit of chaos unfolding, you don't have time to worry about what you're about to do. And yeah, so sometimes over preparing can be a problem. But no, for me, for some reason I've just started eating bagels for breakfast, and I think that's my only superstition. And
okay.
I would have done this before Valencia, but I didn't have an oven. I would have had a jacket potato. I've really into jacket potatoes in the last 18 months, 12 months. I've got into jacket potatoes in a big way. Just with beans and a bit of cheese, just with a little bit of salt on the jacket. Nothing mega. It's a bit boring and bland, really. Yeah. But I really enjoy.
Beans is a dangerous game, though. The night before a race.
Yeah. How do you think I keep getting me PBs?
got extra propulsion.
I've got an extra few percent.
You got a jetpack.
Just stay upwind of me if you ever race me. Don't ever go downwind of me. Don't ever draft off me, because that's not wind. That's not the breeze.
It's wind, but of a different type.
It smells a bit tomatoey, this breeze. Sounds very much like Heinz beans. So, but yeah, apart from that, I've just been I seem to do something different every time, really, for my races.
Yeah.
Like, I don't wear the same kit. I don't wear the same shoes, the same hat or anything. I seem to think about what race I'm doing and how I feel. And normally, to be honest, if anything, most of my superstitions revolve around getting new stuff for that race.
Yeah,
For Valencia, these things, my influencer sunglasses were probably my favorite purchase. I really, really, really enjoyed racing in them. They were I think they're about 50 quid I bought them for. And sometimes feeling good is all you need sometimes.
Yeah.
Because if you feel not fast, but if you feel fast, you'll probably perform well, won't you? If you feel light on your feet. And
a lot of running is mental. So if you feel good, then you're gonna run well. Yeah.
I might have looked like a massive dickhead, but I don't care.
Well, I was gonna say you actually looked really color coordinated and like you'd really thought out your I'm gonna say outfit for Valencia, and it looked really really good. But normally for a run, it's like you got dressed in the dark. Normally,
I like to have clashing colours and patterns are my style. But I came in fancy dress as the finish line. Apart from a hat, I wear all blue, I think, or all sort of turquoise or something. So yeah, but I do like that. You know how you said for London next year, you already know what you want to buy. You already know what you're going to wear.
Yeah.
You kind of like, you're just going to have to go out and get that stuff, I guess. Because how much of that gear have you got?
I've got the singlet. I just haven't got the shoes yet because they haven't been released. So I can't buy shoes that aren't available to buy yet.
Yeah. So,
but I know I'm going to run in them. I just already up here. That's the pair of shoes I'm wearing. So,
have you done any visualization of running down the Mall yet? Because when was the last time you did London?
2016 was the last time I did London.
What time did you do it in that day?
3:28.
Wow. Flipping hell. So you're going to be in such a different physical and mental shape this year then, or in 2025.
Hopefully, yeah.
So what's that feel like? You know, because I've not done London. What's it feel like running? Is it past Big Ben?
Yeah.
And then is that one of the last big turns you make?
So you run down to Big Ben and then turn right at Big Ben and run down the Mall.
That must be seeing Big Ben must be having, you know, that must
incredible.
Be amazing because, you know, is that one of your landmarks to know that you're nearly there?
Yes. Yeah. As you come down the side of the river, you know, you're almost at the end.
So the river's on your left.
Yeah. But you notice Big Ben and you think, okay, not far to go now. And then you turn and then there's a big gantry where all of the so the main finish straight, it's got raked seating either side, so loads of people are sat watching, but there's a big gantry which is a bridge for spectators to go over, but on that's where it says 365 yards to go.
So that's how you know you've done what, 26 miles?
Yeah, so that's where you know, 26 that instead of saying 26 miles, it says 325 yards.
So is that bridge, can you spectate on that bridge, or do you can only move across it?
Yeah, it's one to walk across to get to either side to watch. But you can see through it. It's not like it's a solid barrier. You can see people running across. But
mega excited for you.
Yeah, going underneath that, knowing that you've only got that 0.2 of a mile to go, and you can see the finish line. Just, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's going to be it's going to be big. I'm excited for you because I've decided not to do a spring marathon, but I'm going to live vicariously through you this spring. And I can't wait to see how it all goes for you. And it's just going to be mega.
So, because you're not doing a spring one, are you planning on 1 or 2 marathons next year? Are you going to do a summer one and a winter one, or
just winter? So I have I panic bought my ticket for Valencia for next year again. I'm 99% sure that I'm going to do it, because from speaking to people that were doing the race who have done, you know, one guy said, "Oh, this is my 6th Valencia," or something like that. And he said, the way it's going, I don't want to be quoted for saying this, but he said one day in the future, this could be balloted maybe, because the popularity of it. But maybe they'll always do it on a first come, first serve basis, which is what they do. But once you've done the race, they give you first dibs, which is what happened to me. And I thought, I had about 4 or 5 days thinking about it. And they come on general sale yesterday or the day before. And I thought, yeah, go on then, I'll get it last minute. And I thought, right, I'll get one of the cheap bibs. And I've got it for the same price I bought it last year. So everyone must have had the same thought. So the first 10,000 bibs go for €80, and then between 10 and 20,000, they go for €120, which is what I managed to get. So the 10,000 plus people are already bought, had already signed up again. And then they've gone on sale for like general sale this week. And I believe that they're at about €180 now.
Yeah, €180 now. Yeah. And I think that's the last 15,000 places. So it's 35,000 is the limit, isn't it, for the race?
So I've because at Valencia, as far as I know, as long as you give people enough time, you can resell your bib. And there is an official, I think, on the website, or you can do it officially as a resale platform. You just have to obviously sort it out between you and the person that wants to do it. Or there's a waiting list of people that will.
Yes.
I don't quite know how resale works, but apparently you won't lose any money. You might have to pay an admin fee, or maybe between the two of you could work it out together, which is probably about 15, 20 quid or something. But I don't think you'll massively lose out if you've bought a €180 bib, for example, if you end up not being able to do it.
I think it's about a €5 admin fee to change over all the details, unless it's after the start of November, when it becomes €25 because they have to reprint bibs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I to answer your original question, no, I'm not going to do a marathon all year. And I'm going to spend the first half of 2025 working on the other distances. And I might might go a little bit longer, like I did in the summer. Like I might do an ultra or something in the first part of the year,
Nice.
and then I want to get my 5K times down. Like I want to be ambitious next year. Like I want to go for. Everyone's been telling me as soon as you go sub 20 for your 5K, before you know it, your 10K time will dip below 40, and then your half marathon time will dip below 90. So they're the big two
target for next year.
They're the big two, and I think I could be able to do that before my Valencia block starts, which will be August or July. Oh, look at Bo giving you a little kiss. Oh, good on him. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. So no marathons till the second half of next year.
Okay. And on that, you've reduced the amount of marathons you're doing each year, because normally you do 2 or 3 a year because you're that type of person. Whereas I've always said I'll only do 1 per year. But
we have a Running the Red Line exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news.
I know. I've decided to do 2 next year. I got fully influenced again by the influencer on the opposite side of the screen from me.
Sponsored.
And where are you going, mate? And I have decided to enter.
Say it properly.
Hang on. Marathon Valencia.
Muy bien. Mi apartamento está aquí.
So I have signed up for Valencia Marathon in December next year.
Yes.
So I will be running that blue carpet with Andy next year.
Epic. Will that be? Have you done a race or a marathon or anything out of the UK?
No, that'll be my first traveling race.
It definitely adds a layer of awesomeness, I think. Because I did Amsterdam a couple of years ago, and that was my first one. No, I did a week before that. I went to see my sister in France, and I did one before that, so I did 10K.
Yeah.
But it just I think for me, I mean, you'll probably to some degree feel like that in the majors, like London, for example. But the languages around you and the colours and the nationalities and the conversations you have with strangers, and you see people from Mexico and Brazil and Japan and New Zealand, and you think, wow, this is massive. And it just adds to the excitement, I think. It's
and especially Valencia, which is known to be fast. So people from all over the world want to go there to run fast. So you're going to have, such a mix of nationalities all in the race together.
And if a world record doesn't fall in Berlin or Chicago or probably not many other places, people will be looking at Valencia to do that. So you never know. It could have happened to me. Like you could have shared the course with a world record breaking runner on that day, which is a pretty epic thing to say. But obviously people that run Chicago and Berlin will know how that feels. And it's pretty cool.
Well, Valencia Marathon this year said if anybody breaks the world record, it was $1 million prize.
Let's go for it. Let's train for it. I've already lied about my starting time. I've already said I can finish it in 2:10. So why not? Let's go at the front.
I was going to say you've only got to knock an hour and 20 minutes off your time.
Let's just do it. Fine, it's fine. I know a couple of shortcuts. There's a couple of hairpin turns. We can cut a few corners. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool, isn't it? That's that's going to be epic. That we'll be both doing the Valencia Marathon Valencia next year. So pretty cool.
Yeah, which is it's exciting. But talking about races, well, you're not allowed to call it a race, but it is a race. It is a race. Your first target for next year might not actually happen next year. It might happen at the end of this year.
What's this? The sub 25k pursuit?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I've been thinking a lot about this, and I did say this is why I wish this podcast has got. Oh, it's just so annoying because I wish I didn't say things, but I say things and I have to do it.
It's like Valencia next year. You know what time you're going for, don't you?
2:01.
No, you're going for 2:59. You're going for 2:59 because you said by the time you were 40, you were going to try for a sub 3.
Yeah, but that could be September the 25th, 2026, because I'll still be 40 then.
No, you said that on the pod, and you said that's what you were doing.
Well, let's just wait and see. Let's not say anything, because up to now I've said some things that I've got away with. Just about. But
yeah,
saying I can do a sub 20, you know, you could argue that's doable. Me saying I could do a sub 3, that is ridiculous. Like, that is one hell of a jump, because I'm noticing as well, like shaving time off your times, here the understatement of the century when it comes to running, but it gets a little bit harder the faster you go.
Yes, it does. Yes.
And when you feel like in yourself you're starting to plateau, it's even harder. So yeah, God knows how
you start taking off seconds rather than minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would have to shave off 21 minutes off my 5k time. Of my marathon. So I basically need to have finished by the time I got to 36k.
Yeah.
37k. So yeah. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know anybody does that.
I'm not holding you to it. I'm only joking. It's just you said it on the pod, and I like to keep on reminding you about it. The fact that you put it out there into the world.
This is why I should. Next week, I'm just going to gaffer tape my mouth shut, so I can't say anything that will incriminate myself.
What starting pen have you put yourself into for Valencia?
Well, they wanted, like, you had to say what your previous time was, so I just said the time I ran in Valencia, which is 3:21. But now I'm worried I'm going to start even further back than last year.
Yeah, that's
this year.
That's what I was going to say. So
yeah,
because what the pen that you've put in was that 3:20 up to 3:30.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what I will be putting. But what I want to be, because I think we got emailed this year asking you to confirm your details. So when that email comes around again, I think there's even like a manage my account thing on the website as well. So I might be able to change a couple of things. But I might put myself in the 3 hours to 3:12.
Yes,
pen.
Definitely. You should have done that anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I probably will do, which a lot of people will be in. So yeah, that's probably.
So do you want to put out into the world what you'll be aiming for in Valencia next year?
Do we go big or do we go home? I don't know.
We go big.
Because if I say sub 3, that means I need to comfortably be running what, 38.5-minute 10Ks, 1 hour 25 halves, and I'm at 1:33 and 41 minutes for the 10K.
I'd say sub 3 is possibly a bit too ambitious at the moment.
In 12 months, I think 3:10 would be a big. Yeah, so if I can go 3:09:59, let's say sub 3:10. Because last year, this year I said 3:20, and obviously I should have said sub 3:20, but now I'm saying sub 3:10, so 3:09:59. So that's what I think would be a good target.
3:15 is what, 7:30 a mile. So you're looking at what, 7:15, 7:20 a mile.
It's basically my half marathon pace doubled. So my half marathon pace currently is 4:21 a k, which is about 7:30ish, isn't it? 7:25 a k, a mile, to do a 1:33 half marathon. It's about that. I think it's about 7:30.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when I think about this time last year, all right, let's think about it, right? So this time last year, I was at a 1:36 half marathon and a 3 hour 47 marathon. So there's quite a big discrepancy between those two. So my half marathon pace was about 4:35 or 4:33 a kilometer. And now my marathon PB this year is 4:43 a kilometer. So it's not far off last year's half marathon. So I don't think I'll be able to do half marathon pace current next year's marathon pace. I think that might be too much of a stretch.
Yeah. What's your half marathon pace at the moment?
Well, it's 1:30.
No, what 1:30? What was it? 1:33.
1:33:20. I think it was. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 7:07 a mile.
Yeah, it's under 7:10, isn't it? Yeah. I remember that. So yeah, that's about 4:21, 4:22. Okay.
A 3:10:05 marathon is 7:15 a mile.
7:15. So that's about 4:19, 4:20. Okay.
Yeah. So you'd what?
No, it's a bit slower than that.
So you'd want to run 7:14 a mile to get 3:09:39.
Yeah. And what is that? Have you got the thing in K's there?
Yeah. Hang on, 2 seconds.
It'd be between what I've run. It would be about 4:20, won't it? 4:25, 4:20.
Where are we?
If it's slower than 4:25, that'll be a big confidence booster.
A 3:09:53 is 4:30. Okay.
That's easy. That's too easy. Let's go sub 3. Too easy. I think I could do that. Yeah, it's only 13 seconds faster than current PB pace.
2:59:20 is 4:15. Okay, so 15 seconds. Okay, quicker.
Let's lock in early doors then. Sub 3:10. 12 months time. Let's do it.
So 4:30s.
Yeah. So it's only a little bit slower than half marathon pace at the moment. So with a good year of training.
Yeah, that would be a 1:34:56 half.
Halfway split, okay. Which is mad when I think about it, because that is faster than, I ran Worcester in this year. Yeah. But I thought that this year, how on earth am I going to do a 1:40 split in a marathon? But you just got to do it. You can't think like that. It's got to be done. You've just got to do it.
Exactly.
And as soon as you just get on with it, you kind of relax into it. You just get on with it, don't you? And you don't. If you panic about it, it's not going to happen. But if you try and just accept, yes, this is uncomfortable and this is hard, but I'm going to get it done. I'm going to do it. It just seems all more manageable all of a sudden. And like that marathon I ran 2 weeks ago, like I think I said my 4th and 6th or something like that, fastest ever halves. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes it works like that, doesn't it? Yeah. And I nearly got a 5K PB when we did our 10K PB when I ran with you. So when you run on the edge like that, you realize, I can actually run a bit further on the edge. I just want to, And it's that when it becomes a mental game, isn't it?
And the more running you're doing, the more mileage you've got in your legs. So the more knowledge of running you've got, and then you've got each race you do, you get some more race knowledge. So it just snowballs, and you just
I like that, because I think that yes, I would keep going on about hills and starting track and stuff as being big reasons that I did well or a lot better than last year. But one of the biggest things is the mileage, is the volume. I just ran more. I was out the house more. Laura probably loved it because I was out more than ever. And people have said to me, not in a sort of nasty way or challenging me, but they've sort of said, "Oh, so are you preferring quantity over quality then?" And it's not really like that, because you can do quality easy runs, can't you? You can do quality zone 2 stuff. You don't have to be doing top end stuff all the time. And I sort of backed this up this time last year when I did a half marathon training block for when we did the It's on Andy run. And then a couple of weeks later, I did Chester Marathon and completely bonked because I was running like 40-mile weeks in training for that. And I only did 10 weeks training for the Worcester half because it was a half marathon. It was a half of a marathon. So I didn't need to do all that training. But then I got to the marathon and completely bonked because it was too hard. It was too much.
Yeah.
My body didn't know what to do. So now I got to this marathon, having got more miles in my legs. And I think that made the big difference. Running more than ever has been the biggest thing for me. I'm sure of it.
But it's like anything. How would you get better at something? You do more of it.
Hours, practice,
So I mean, you do more of it each year, but each year that you're a runner, you are adding more time to your knowledge of that
experience.
sport.
Yeah.
I mean, how long is it now since you started running?
It was 5 years in March.
Yeah. So 5 years, you've now got 5 years of running knowledge. Whereas a couple of years ago, when you were running marathons, it was still quite early days, wasn't it? Whereas now you're starting to run more because you're better at it. Yeah. So you can actually run more. And so the improvements are speeding up because not only is the amount you're running are getting better, but your knowledge and your experience is getting better as well. So everything's starting to fall into place.
Your run-iversary must be coming up soon, because wasn't the first time you started running training for London?
Yes. So
that would have been after Christmas.
It would have been, it would have been like Christmas 2011 would have been when I first started running. Not that I was like actually training. I was just about getting out the door and doing a couple of miles.
Well, we're all headless chickens in the beginning, aren't we? Because none of us really have a clue. Yeah. And especially even more so in 2011, because now there's like a plethora of information at your disposal at every corner. All you have to do is turn your phone on, go on Instagram, and there's someone telling you how to do your long runs, or there's someone, but back in the olden days in 2011, you just had to just sort of just run and just see how you did.
Yeah. Well, when I first started, I didn't even have a pair of like proper running shoes, and I went to JJB Sports. Can you remember JJB?
JJB, yeah. Did you go to the big one at Merry Hill with the basketball court?
I went to the one in Redditch. There was a JJB in Redditch. So I went there and just bought a pair of Adidas shoes. I think they were the Oregon 10, which weren't even a proper pair of running shoes at the time, but they were a pair of all right trainers. I think I spent about 35 quid on them and started doing all my training in those. And I bought the size of shoe that I always wore, which really for running was a bit too small. So they were a bit tight at times when you went out for running and your feet started to get a bit hot and swelled up and stuff. And then I went to a proper running shoe store to get my first ever pair of running shoes, which is what I'll run the marathon in. But I knew nothing. I really knew nothing. Whereas now I like to think that I sort of know what I'm doing whilst I'm running. Not to the point that I could like coach or tell anyone else how to run, but personally I know how I run, and I know from all of my experience how I do in certain situations and in certain distances and things like that. And I know how I need to feel at certain places during races. So compared to what I was back in the start of 2012, end of 2011 to now, I feel like a completely different person. I'm also about 2.5 stone lighter. So that makes a bit of a difference as well.
Well, the weight loss thing is like a byproduct of running, isn't it? It's like your body's like, well, okay, if you want to do this, we can't do it at this weight because, or if we want to do this at the level you want me to do this at, the weight's got to go. So it's like you almost don't see it dropping off you. I mean, I know not everyone's as fortunate as that. Well, you could say fortunate, but it's not everyone has that experience. But especially when you're just getting going, you sort of shock your body into it, don't you? That your body doesn't really know what you're doing to it, so it just responds by losing all this weight. And I guess you are technically in a big calorie deficit as well, because
you don't know about eating properly, you don't know about carb loading, you don't know about fueling during the runs, you don't know this stuff, so you're just going out with maybe a bottle of water. And you're not actually fueling on your long runs or anything like that, because you don't know about that stuff until somebody tells you.
Yeah. I remember like when I was trying to get into running in like the noughties, I wouldn't do my runs by distance. I'd do my runs by running to places and back. I'd always do out and backs. And I remember like because I used to live, you probably know it actually. You know do you know what I mean by the Sugarbrook in Bromsgrove? So it's not there anymore. It's just a KFC now. We used to live, you probably know because you know Louise, don't you? But we used to live on Stoke Road there. And I used to run to the Ladybird and back. So you know Ladybird. So I used to run up there, which is basically Bromsgrove train station, which is probably about a mile and a half there and back. And then I thought, well, that was, I could do that. That was only 20 minutes. So I thought, right, okay, I'll run up to my old school and back to Aston Field School. I thought, oh yeah, I'll run into town now. And then so I never used to clock how far I was actually running. I would do it in sort of there and back, because it was before having a watch and feeling the need to put your training on Strava, or you just so that's how I would do it.
All of my first 5 London marathons, I never had a GPS watch or anything. I just had a Casio stopwatch, and I just knew what time I needed to reach each mile marker. Well, not each mile marker, but each. So I knew what time I needed to reach halfway to be able to run a certain time in the marathon. And you just checked on your stopwatch when you crossed the halfway line, whether you were on target or not.
Is there a way to look on Strava at your first ever recorded run? I wonder what mine is. Probably is, isn't there? If you go on like your
I don't think my first ever recorded runs exist anymore, because they were on the Adidas training app, which doesn't exist anymore. There is an Adidas training app now, but it was a completely different app years ago.
I'm just scrolling through my calendar now. Here, what's this? On the November the 11th, 2019. Also, I was doing a couple of runs before 2020. I did 3.93k at 7 minute kilometers, and that took me 26.5 minutes. I've got one random run here in 2019, again March, 6k, 36 minutes. So like I don't know. Oh, hang on, this is my first ever run here. I did a morning run at December the 16th, 2018. I did 800 meters and it took me 5 minutes. And what was I doing? Why did I run 800 meters? That makes no sense at all. I didn't even have a map. I didn't even know where I went. So that was my first recorded run on Strava anyway.
I've just found my old app on my phone that I used to use. But what's it saying?
Can I just show you this quickly?
Go on.
Look, I just found another run. Look at my splits, 3K. So I'm holding up to the screen, anyone that's listening. I did a 2 kilometer run, and you know the phrase "don't go out too fast." My first one is the whole width of the screen, the first split, and the second one is like a teeny tiny one. My first split was 6-minute Ks, and my second one was 9 minutes a K. So 33 or nearly 50% slower.
Brilliant. It's not letting me go back any further than 2016.
Yeah.
So yeah, and there's no runs faster than 7 minutes a mile, really. Oh, is that a park run? Probably. So there's a 5K here. Oh, okay. That's all right. So I did 5K in 2041.
That's all right. That's not bad at all.
So yeah, not bad. That was 2016. That was when was that? I've lost it. 24th of May, 2016. So
yeah. So you've been under 20 minutes for 5Ks for about 10 years. More than that, do you think? Do you run your first sub 20 before 2016?
Yes, 20. Oh, when did I do it? That's a really good question as well. It would have been a park run.
Yeah, because we've talked about this on the podcast before. Because on the 5K app, you can go back to your first one, can't you?
Yeah.
And Parkrun records go all the way back. Like if you started back in the day.
How do you do that?
Well, I presume you just go on. Yeah, you just have to literally scroll down to the bottom, maybe. I guess.
Oh, here we go. There we go. 15th of June, 2013. I ran a 19:08.
That's all right.
In 2013.
That's pretty good.
So
you've been 13 years then, nearly. 12 years, sorry.
Yeah.
Coming up to 11 or 12 years. So how do you do it? Do you literally... Oh,
that was my first ever park run.
Was it?
Yeah.
Hang on, what's the date? Oh, I've just missed my parkrun anniversary.
Oh.
On the 11th of December, because obviously it's Friday 13th. On the 11th of December 2021, which is just over 3 years ago, I ran Worcester Pitchcroft. I remember this because I filmed it. It's on my YouTube channel, like video number 4 or something, in 25 minutes, 23 seconds. And that was an all-out assault. That was an all-out attack. I remember that I couldn't do it any quicker. And I remember feeling so proud of myself for that. Because at the time, that was like a minute PB. Because I remember thinking, wow, I feel like I'm in a race. This is amazing.
Yeah.
What is this every Saturday? What is this phenomenon that is parkrun? I totally get it now. There's people that are also running a similar time around me. I'm overtaking people. People are overtaking me. I'm not having that. It's like, what's going on here? So I was like, I'm coming back next week.
So you started how you meant to go on because you haven't changed. Oh, there's people overtaking. Oh, I ain't having that.
I ain't having that. He's got no shoes on. I'm overtaking him.
But yeah, my first ever parkrun was 15th of June 2013, and I ran 19:08. So
that's really good.
Yeah, pretty pleased with that.
Was that in the period of time in your life where if you weren't in sub 20 shape, you just didn't go to parkrun?
Yeah.
So nothing's changed.
No. No, I don't care now. I don't care what my time at parkrun is, but
I do feel guilty though, because I think your personal worst was when you were running with me once. I think you ran about 25 minutes with me once, and you were like, "That's the slowest I've ever done it."
Yeah, but I was injured, weren't I? So
yeah, fair enough. Okay,
but as I say, I don't care anymore. That was old me years ago when I actually cared about the stats at parkrun.
Yeah, but before we do get carried away, because we haven't talked about a single note on my piece of paper here, and we're 58 minutes in. So here's a couple of we've talked about the Valencia, but there's a couple of things we're going to mention. So the week that I did Valencia, Brett did a race and selflessly last week he made it all about me. We talked about all about Valencia, but he didn't. We didn't talk about his race that he did.
Yeah,
so we're going to talk about that.
No one was tuning in last week to hear about my race. They wanted to hear about Valencia. That was the whole point of last week. You what?
The Quinies were. They wanted to get their mud fix.
Well, they didn't want it that much. They were too busy watching Level 40.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were. The Quinies way was going on down in London somewhere, wasn't it? So
it was, yeah.
It can't have been that bothered.
But
yeah, a couple of other things we're going to just quickly touch on as well is that we've both had a decent. Well, speaking for you, we've both had a decent week of running. I think a couple of hard sessions between us. Yeah. And next week I've got my first little taster of a track race, but it's not a race. We'll talk about that. Yeah, I'll quickly mention this now because we've touched on it. I'm going to do a sub 20 attempt. I promised on the podcast I'm going to do a sub 20. By the time I need to mention this now because by the time next week's comes out, I would have done it on the 21st of December. So the Saturday before Christmas, if you didn't know, we are going to do I am going to try and do a sub 20 attempt. All being well, let's hope there's no storms that disrupt play at Ara Valley in Redditch. And this will be my attempt, lucky number 7, to see if I can dip below 20 minutes for the 5K. So if anyone is local to Redditch and wants to come down and join in, please do. It would be fun to see you. And yes, we would love to see you. Maybe you can help me get me over the line. We've also...
It's not going to be an attempt though, is it?
Oh no, it's happening. It is.
Yeah, exactly.
I've promised this for the podcast, so it is happening. It's on.
It's on, Andy.
It's on, Andrew. This weekend as well is the Telford 10K, which we're going to have a quick chat about, and we're going to do comments, emails, and of course a Strava segment. So all that coming up in the next hour. Let's see if we can get through cross country. in 50 minutes. And we'll see if we can get through it.
I'll fly.
And that's just my notes. I don't know if you want to talk about your notes. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the ballots as well. Forgot about Chicago and Sydney ballot.
Yeah, we'll fly through everything as quick as we can. So so cross country race 2. So Division 1 race 2. So this season is my first taster of Division 1, and it's a different kettle of fish to Division 2 for sure. First race, I just felt way out of my depth. To be honest, I wasn't 100% fit anyway. My calf wasn't great, but I went and raced it anyway because that's what I'm like. But in the first race, I came 163rd out of the pack. So I was pretty pleased with it, everything considered. But this second race, not all of the mega fast guys were there up the front. So there was a few less people there, but it was still quick up the front. They were still going for it. But it was in Crewe. It was run by Stoke AC, but it was in Crewe at a place called Betley Court. And it was a 3-lapper, and each lap was just under 2 mile. Come on, stop. Don't start that, please. Sorry, he's now. Yeah. Sorry, Boba's trying to jump onto my cabinet, and when I tried to get him down, he tried to do play and claw at me whilst I was But so it was a 3-lapper. Each lap was just under 2 mile, and I went out and settled into a pace that I thought I could keep for the rest of the race, and felt all right. Obviously, never feels comfortable running cross country. It's always tough because there's hills and mud, and it's just hard racing. But we're sticking with people, overtaking a few, which was good. First couple of laps went through, and I managed to keep a consistent pace throughout all of that. And then I thought, right, this last lap, I need to kick it on a little bit and get going. So we came round, crossed the start line, and it went down a little like a shallow decline, and then turned into another field and just went uphill, and it was quite a steep uphill. And I thought, right, I'm going to push it up this hill. And up that hill on the last lap, on the third lap, I managed to pass probably about 10 people just going up the hill.
Yes.
So I was like, yes, this is feeling good. And then during the rest of the lap, I just carried on trying to ramp up the pace slowly. And the last mile, I think, was possibly my fastest mile of the race. So I managed to finish really strong, which I was really happy about. And I think I must have made up maybe 25 places on that last lap.
Wow.
So really happy about that. Finished really strong. Had a really good sprint finish race with a lad from Brat, which was good fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I ended up coming 124th. So a big improvement from the first race. So I was 163rd in the first race and 124th in the race 2. So well happy with that. I was 31st in the Masters. So of all of the older people, I was 31st.
Yeah.
And then B&R, we did really well. So our A team came 6th overall,
Awesome.
which is great. So that's above halfway, like mid-table. Our B team came 3rd, and I actually scored for our B team. So I was well happy with that. I was 4th scorer. So
Go on,
first six from the club score for the A team, and then the second 6 score for the B team. And I was 4th scorer for the B team. And then our Masters A team was 2nd, and I was the 4th scorer for the A team. So there's 4, first 4 Masters score for the A Masters team, and then the second 4 Masters scorer for our B team, and our Masters B team were first.
Yes.
So yeah, we had a really good race, but it was tough. It was tough, but really pleased with how I raced. Actually,
Your
managed
splits,
to ramp it up.
Your splits make for some pleasant viewing, because look at that finish.
Yeah.
In Ks, that last, it says here, the last 200 meters, steady on, was 3:30 a K, which on grass and mud must have felt like 1:30. That must have felt like you were flying.
Yeah, as I say, I had a really good sprint finish with a lad from Brat. I as we were going around the first couple of laps, I thought, right, as we come through now, I'm going to work out where to do my first kick to really ramp up the speed, and then where to sprint from.
Yeah.
So on that last lap, I passed a guy from Brat just before the first, where I was going to kick for the first time.
Yeah.
And he was right behind me up to the point where we started to sprint, and we were more or less level, and he just managed to pass me on the line. So yeah, it was a good sprint finish, but both of us were proper going for it towards the end.
I see what you mean about the elevation now, because it looks like you've got 3 hills. The first one looks pretty gnarly. So does the second one. The third one is like what it looks like the kick into the finich. Does that look sort of familiar?
Yeah.
So
it started on an uphill.
Yeah, that looks pretty mean. So how were the shoes? How's the new season of the new shoes gone?
Yeah, really, really good. Running in cross-country spikes is very different to running on road in road shoes, because in road shoes you've got a load of cushioning, a load of midsole, whereas running in spikes, cross-country spikes, they've got hardly any midsole. They've got like less. I'd say there's probably less than 10 mil midsole, and then they've got a plastic spike plate that the spikes screw into, so they're quite solid underneath your foot as well. So it's more or less like running barefoot. but
I was going to say,
you have got a little bit of cushioning.
It must be a 0 drop for cross country shoes, is it?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Track and cross country spikes. Yeah. Is that because the surface of the track and the surface of the mud, well, definitely the surface of the mud is so uneven, there's no point being a drop because you're constantly changing your foot position.
Yeah,
and on track.
If you had more stack on the shoe, you'd really easily roll your ankle.
So you can't have a drop because you can't have a stack. Yeah.
So
I see what you mean.
You want it as stable as possible because the ground's unstable.
And I was going to say, because of track being like a big super shoe, you almost don't need a drop because you get energy return from the track.
Yeah, and you spend most of the time on your toes anyway, don't you? So
yeah.
With the spikes all being in the forefoot, you spend a lot of time pushing off your forefoot.
Yeah,
you don't really ever land on your heel. It's more.
I see what you mean. Yeah, they're not designed for long running, are they?
No.
For spikes, I guess. Yeah. That sounds like it went really well for you, then, mate.
No, it was good. It was really good.
Must have been a good celebration for the team, having done quite well. And
yes, yeah.
Must have been good.
Yeah, we're doing quite well. So hopefully, the rest of the season, the other 2 races will go well, and we'll stay up in Division 1. So cool. The bottom, I think it's the bottom 3 clubs get relegated to Division 2. So hopefully, if we stay where we are, we're in the top half of the table. We should be all right.
Yeah.
So.
Was there a Tipton team there that day? So would the Quinies have been there?
Yeah. So the Tipton are in the Division 1 as well. So I was expecting to see a full team of Quinies there, but unfortunately, not a single one.
Part-timers, aren't they?
I know, yeah. Too busy drinking Guinness down in London, weren't they?
So, fair play. Well, that sounds like it went really well. So when's your next? Is it early Jan?
Not till January now, yeah. January is the next cross-country race. So, a nice relaxing December first before we start the marathon block in January.
Yeah, amazing. So have you got a start date for that yet?
For the marathon block, I think I'm going to start, 3rd week of Jan, and that will give me 15 weeks to London. So
have you thought, like, are you thinking like 16 or more or less? 15 just feels about right. Is that what you would normally do for a marathon build?
15 I did for Manchester last year, so that felt about right. And that was from pretty much non-existent running because I was injured, weren't I, before the start of Manchester block last year. So I'll hopefully, if I can just tick over during December, I'll start the block next year in a much better place than I did at the start of this year. Yeah.
So do you think you'll do any tune-up races as well on the way to London? Have you got your eye on any?
Most likely, but I haven't got any booked in, and I haven't really looked for any. But I probably will. I'll try and do a half at some point, and I may even, I don't know, try and find a 10K or something.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Because I'm going to train. I don't know if this is counterproductive, but I'm going to train for a 1:30 at Birmingham, which is the week after London. So that's first week of May. I think I've worked out from, like you were talking about, gathering experience from running, more miles equals more success. I know that might not be, for example, if Usain Bolt probably doesn't share that ethos, but I think I might marathon train for a half marathon, if you know what I mean. So I think I might still keep my long runs long. I might still run well. I might still run well into the, try and do a couple of 20 milers maybe, because this year I've noticed so many gains from doing more miles. Yeah. So I'm thinking of keeping the mileage high and basically mirroring, almost emulating what I've done this autumn and the back end of summer. So I think I'm just going to do that, and I'm just going to hopefully get to Birmingham with a taper.
Yeah. Do a proper big taper.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've just got to.
I can see you're anxiously looking to your left.
Yeah.
Have you got a cat about to jump?
He was on top of cupboards that he shouldn't be on, but there we go.
So yeah, I that's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking of doing like another half marathon build, but like an unofficial kind of thing. So yeah, I think I might do something similar to what I did this autumn, and maybe start late January and then do sort of 15-ish, 16 weeks. And do something similar, because when I think about like when we ran that 10K, or when I ran Cardiff, when I ran my PB there, that was at the end of like peak week. I was noticing that I was running really well with miles in my legs.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to realize that your body is, it's tired, but it also responds well on a race day. He's going for it, Boba. Don't even think about it, mate. He's thinking about it, wasn't he?
Man, I know. I mean, imagine if you were on the start line for a half with the fitness and the way you felt on the start of Valencia.
Exactly. I would have backed myself to go, even faster than a half marathon PB. So, yeah, I think trying to trying to stay sharp with the speedy stuff at track, and maybe some decent hill reps and stuff. Because that's one thing I didn't do this year, was hill reps, and I think I might introduce that 2025, because we've got some tasty hills around here that I could easily do hill rep days and sessions and workouts. And as we all know, Birmingham is not a flat half marathon. Boba's giving you the run around today, isn't he? He's keeping you on your toes. He's keeping you sharp.
It was Daisy for you last week. It's Boba for me this week.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking of doing as well. So maybe in a couple of episodes' time, once you've nailed down like a plan, we could have a chat about your London plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the subject of marathons, can I just quickly say that the Chicago and Sydney ballots. The Sydney ballot, I think, is officially open now.
Yes.
Or it might be closed by now. I'm not quite sure.
Opened on the 11th, didn't it?
Yeah, because it's obviously one of the newest majors to be announced. And the Chicago for 2025 ballot got announced a few days ago. And a couple of people, in fact, it seems like everyone I know that entered that ballot, well, not everyone I know, because I know a few people that didn't, but it feels like the Chicago ballot feels like the best one you could enter, because I didn't get into Berlin. I was keeping my fingers crossed for that last week. Didn't get in. And obviously London, you've got no chance, have you really? Maybe 1 in 20 years you might get in.
No.
But yeah, a few people I know have gotten in. So I just wanted to give a shout out quickly to Dave Bennett. I don't know if he listens to this or not, but he said he's booked Valencia because he knows he wouldn't get Chicago. Text me back within about half an hour and said, I got Chicago. Can't believe it. But then, in a contrast, I got a message from Stods84. I don't actually know his name. That's embarrassing. Here, I can do a bit of stalking here. What's written on his London bib here? Scott. Scott said he did the same. No, sorry, he didn't go into Valencia, but he went into Sydney. He's like, rejected by Chicago, waiting on the Sydney announcement in January. This one is going to cost me about 5K to take the whole family. You know exactly what's going to happen, don't you? So he's not going to get the Chicago, but he's going to get the Sydney one. But that's it, though. I think Sydney, you've got to, I guess you'd have to do it like that, coming from this neck of the woods. You'd have to make a holiday or family holiday out of it.
Yeah. It's the other side of the world. You'd have to do it as, a proper holiday. You can't just go there for the day and run the marathon and travel back home, can you?
No. So, yeah. So you probably would have to spend a good 3 weeks there. And I imagine Australia is not a cheap place to holiday to. So I imagine you can seriously burn through the cash. But you'd have to think about it like a once in a lifetime kind of thing, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Especially as probably Australians or Kiwis probably think about doing the London Marathon.
Yeah.
or anywhere but Tokyo, really, because it's about 2 days worth of traveling, isn't it? If you're from down under. But yeah, so good luck to anyone that's let us know. Write into the podcast if you have either gotten into Berlin or Chicago, or I don't think New York's been announced, or yes, maybe you started training for Tokyo, or you've got your fingers crossed for Sydney, or maybe we'll see you in Valencia.
Yeah.
I also wanted to just quickly touch on something that somebody wrote to me the other day about Valencia. They said, well done for Valencia. I'm just paraphrasing here. Here we go. It's from someone called Gaz. I'm going to quickly paraphrase. He said, well done for everything, your prep and everything falling into place. But how much of the result do you think attributes to the alpha flies?
Oh.
So I just wanted to have a quick chat about that.
Interesting question.
Because, yeah, you can prep all you like, but once you've got something that will give you more of an advantage because you've got a shoe on your foot that really works for you, will that give you even more of a good day at the office? And I have to agree that I think those alpha flies on the day were a really good choice for me. And they just felt really, really quite good. I mean, I know these shoes don't get made anymore, so it's almost pointless me talking about it. But those alpha version 1s really I really seem to get on well with them. Like I've only worn them for a run around the block, Cardiff half, a long run, 30k run, which went quite well, and then the marathon. And they've all felt brilliant. So
yeah,
if you get on with a shoe, you just get on with it, don't you? And I think, like we were saying earlier, if you mentally are in a good shape and you're happy with the kit that you're wearing on the day, because sometimes you can wear a shoe, can't you, that gives you just that little bit of a niggle on your big toe, or you get that you get a recurring pain from a certain shoe, and you think, well, I'll just ignore it for 3.5 hours or whatever it is. That's not good, is it? If you've always got that at the back of your mind.
Yeah.
But if you've got the opposite, if you've got a shoe that you love and you can't wait to put on your feet, and on marathon race day, you put it on your foot and you think, wow, Bobes, what are you up to?
Easy, yeah.
Oh, there he is.
He's knocking all sorts of off.
So yeah, I'm just really lucky that I found those Alpha Fly version 1s. But I think I've got narrow feet, and I think I'm quite fortunate because I think I've got Alpha Fly molded feet. I think I've got high arch, narrow feet, which I think is the main reason that those shoes work for me. So no problems at all with those Alpha Flies. And I don't know if I'd wear them again because I might look to buy something in the next year. But
what do you reckon they gave you time-wise?
Oh, the big question. I tell you, when I really felt them was the last 5K, because I really could feel myself wanting to slow down. But I think we've talked about this in previous podcasts, where by that time you've been running on your feet for 3 hours. You've been on your feet for 3 hours. Your body just knows that repetitive cadence, that repetitive stride length, and you almost second nature, you're doing the same pace. And when I look at my pacing during the day, apart from that first 5K, in kilometers, nothing went lower than a, say, 440 a K, and nothing was higher than 450. So I managed to keep most of my Ks within a 10-second swing of each other across 3 hours, which I don't think is too bad.
No,
but the last 5K, I just remember thinking, these shoes won't let me slow down. If I really don't want to slow down, I don't have to, if you know what I mean. They just want to keep you moving, and they give you something extra. Yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, Gaz, that you probably aren't even listening to, because he sent me a DM, I reckon those Alpha Flies did help. So maybe someone can write into the podcast, and maybe someone's somehow done a test on this. I don't know, because you'll never really know.
You still haven't answered the question, though. What do you reckon they gave you time-wise?
Okay. 2 minutes, I think, maybe.
Okay.
So not a massive amount.
Yeah. No, that's still a big amount. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Still
but I think amount. I think when I think Newport, when I bonked at 37k with it wearing the Adios Pro 3s, fair enough, that was probably my fitness. Yeah, I think they literally gave me about an extra 2 minutes, I think.
Nice.
And I felt like that at Cardiff as well. I felt like I was bouncing and striding. And that finish line sort of, well, I don't know if you can call it a sprint or not, but that last 800, and especially that last 400, I just felt like I was floating. I felt like I was gliding because those shoes were so good to finish strong in. So, yeah.
Just on that as well, I was listening to Inside Running podcast, and they had Andy Buchanan on, who broke the Australian record in Valencia. And one of the hosts, Moose, he was saying he thinks Valencia is the super shoe of marathons
because of that finish line.
Because of how quick it is as a race.
See.
So Valencia is the super shoe of marathons.
Yeah, I suppose
gives you that extra boost.
That's quite a good way to put it, actually, because it probably is. Yeah. But it's just when you're there, and you'll feel this next December, when you're warming up and when you're even walking to the start line, you just look around you and you think, wow, there's some serious athletes here today.
Yeah.
And it was just like something I've never seen before. So yeah, I totally get why you said that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right. So, also I just need to mention as well, it's county cross country champs this Saturday.
Yeah.
So best of luck to all of the B&R runners who are running county cross country. I know Pete is, Steve, Kieran, Will, Matt, Wayne. I think a few others are as well. So best of luck to all of those running county. Bring it home.
I presume that's tomorrow, Saturday.
Oh yeah, it's tomorrow. Yeah.
So whereabouts is that? That's obviously somewhere in Worcestershire somewhere.
It's up in Solihull.
Oh, it's a county thing for the Midlands.
No, it's Worcestershire and Warwickshire, but why it's in Solihull, I'm not sure.
Yeah, right.
I think it's in Solihull anyway. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
I was too late to enter it, and I was quite pleased that I was too late to enter it, because I was like, actually, I wanted to take December easy. So, I'm quite glad, because I know what I'm like, and I'd go out and push it too hard and make my injury worse. And then a late entry for Telford came up, and I went, oh, go on then.
We haven't mentioned that, have we? So Sunday, let's get stuck into that. We are going to be doing, we didn't really talk about this, but I'm going to be doing a little bit of a documentary on it. I'm going to go and watch it, and I'm going to be following the world famous Brett Elesmore from Running the Red Line. And we're going to we'll take the cameras and we'll see if we can get, some people on the video and stuff. But we're going to make like a little behind the scenes little video and stuff. But yeah, so you've managed to wing a last minute entry, something you haven't really wasn't really in your thoughts until recently, was it?
No, not at all. I don't think I'm in 10k shape, but I know what I'm like, so I'll go out at race pace, at PB pace, and then see if I can hang on. Probably not. I'll probably crawl over the finish line, but if you don't try, you don't get anything, do you?
Well, you didn't do, because we remember the Phil Mitchell episode. You didn't do Studley, did you? Ulster 10k.
I know.
So would this be your first raced 10k of the year?
Probably, yeah. I haven't even thought of it like that. Yeah.
Because I think it will be, won't it? Yeah, because I've done a couple of 10Ks, and I ate 10Ks. But yeah, that's quite exciting. And for anyone that doesn't know, Telford is renowned for being the country's fastest 10K.
Yeah.
So it's the Valencia of the UK. Not quite the same sort of weather and surroundings, but it's at a park, isn't it? It's called it's where the Parkrun is. I wish I could remember the name of the place where the venue is.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Hey, I've got it here. It's around the. I can't find it now. I can't remember. The Quinies will know. They'll be screaming at the screen.
Yeah, I was going to say, KQ will be going, come on, I've been talking about this for the last 5 months.
So, here we go. We've got a little Telford 10K here. Statistically proven as the fastest 10K course in the UK, the Telford 10K is back for 2024. This is a generally flat 2-lap, traffic-free, well-sheltered tarmac course using Telford Town Park, as well as the Silkin Way. That's it, the Silkin Way. The course record was set in 2019 by Adam Craig. No, course record set in 2019, Adam Craig, 28:32. And 2022, Sam Harrison, 31:10. Last year, Wave 1 had more runners under 30 minutes than any race ever within the UK. 54 runners based on chip time. Under 30 minutes. How crazy is that?
Mental.
That's absolutely cray-cray. So we know friend of the podcast, Mac Ashworth, has been training for it. He's going to be up there. He's going to be going for I think he's going for a sub 42.
He is, yes.
And between us two and everyone else listening, I think Mac is maybe in a better shape than that if he can hold on, which I'm sure he can.
I reckon he's in closer to 41 shape than he is 42.
Yeah. So, and Mac has got the kick of a donkey. The last 200 meters, you can bet your life he'll be marauding down that finish straight like a young Seabiscuit going smashing home at I don't know what Seabiscuit used to race, like a young Red Rum at the National. So I'm sure he'll be excited to do that as well. So do you know anyone racing 10K?
Well, this is what I was going to say is I need to say a big thank you to the Quiney brothers because they are the reason I managed to get a entry. So we will see TQ, KQ and RQ. They're in the race. But AQ, Adam, unfortunately, hasn't quite recovered fully from his knee surgery. So he's relinquished his place at Telford. And that's the last minute entry that came up. So I have had Adam's place off him. So massive thank you to Adam and the Quiney brothers for letting us know about that and offering it to us, because they did offer it to both of us and you were like, nah, I'm done for the year now.
I'm so glad I said no. Because the thought of doing a really hard 10K this weekend after, I did a track session the other day and that's bad enough. So definitely glad I said no. But you found out that what wave are you in?
Wave 1.
So who else is in that wave, Brett?
Phil Sessamon.
Phil Sessamon and KQ and RQ and TQ.
Yeah.
So you'll be rubbing shoulders with the elites.
Yeah. No, I know the elites, KQ, TQ, and RQ. I'll be just watching them down in the distance down the road. I'll just be following them.
It does say that the wave 1 is for anyone from sub 30 to approximately 38. 10K.
Yeah, so I think what did it say? It said in the entries. If I still got it, it's got the page up.
I mean, so I can go here. I was going to say, have you got it? Wave 1 is for elite men and other men, 28 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, so elite men and other men, 28 to 40 minutes, although most are normally under 37. And then it says wave 2 is for elite ladies and further men, 31 to 41 minutes. This is also best for the faster masters, males and females. So I'm not sure whether I should be in the wave 2 being a masters runner, but hopefully I'll be well under 37 minutes. So I should be okay in wave 1. Fingers crossed.
What sort of shape do you think you're in then for the 10K? Because I know you haven't raced one for a while, but
I'm hoping that I can at least run 36-ish.
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping that I can run about there. Basically, my 36 minutes is 5:44 a mile.
yeah.
So I'd need to run 5:44 a mile to break 36 minutes. So I'm hoping I can get somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Last night on, so we did a pre-race session. So like instead of going for a steady run, we did like a pre-race session last night, and it was basically just a steady run down to where everybody was doing their session. And there's a length of road which they said was a kilometre, but I didn't clock it as a full kilometre. I clocked it as 0.54 of a mile.
Right.
So probably about 850 meters.
Yeah.
And I did 4 out and backs down there. So 4
Yeah.
times just over half a mile. And Andy, the coach, said, do it as a pickup, not as race pace. So just do it as a comfortable effort. So it's not an effort, it's just a pickup of pace. And I did those in just under 6 minute mile in pace, and they felt really comfortable.
Yeah.
So hopefully when it comes to race day and the adrenaline's pumping and you're surrounded by other runners, that'll drag me along to run a bit quicker. So hopefully that 5:44, 5:45 should be.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
You'll have to tell us. You'll have to tell us what that turnaround round the cone bit's like. Will it be, will it slow you down, or will it be slippy, or because there is a turnaround a cone bit, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's a two lapper, so you'll have to go around that cone twice. So,
because I imagine that if that's probably why they do the wave thing, isn't it? Because if you've got people running that in 30 minutes and also people running it in 60 minutes plus, the congestion on the course would be pretty unmanageable, I would have thought. But you never know. There might be people that you're lapping, or there might be a bit of contraflow as well. Because I think from people's videos I've seen that there's a section on that out and back bit where people are running straight past you, aren't there?
Yes, yeah. So and when you go around the cone, it's pretty much a single path. Yeah, and there's people coming both ways. So that'll be quite tight around there.
So you'll have no choice but just to run for your life and just run as fast as you can.
Basically.
Sit on that red line quite happily, well, unhappily, for 30 odd minutes. But no, I wish you all the best. I hope it goes well for you. And
cheers, man.
I'll be there with the camera, shouting from the sidelines, giving you partridge references. I don't know if that will help me going rolled on the thighs of a virgin or something because you're coming around the cone. So but good luck to everyone racing Telford this weekend. We hope hope it goes well for you.
Yeah.
So have you got so apart from going out at PB pace or maybe slightly quicker to get out fast, do you have a plan, or are you just going to work that out on the day, or just going to see what others are doing around you and just go with them?
Yeah, basically I'll set off at PB pace
5,
and then
is it 5:30 something?
5:40. Well, what is PB pace? Because my PB is 35:44.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
So that's about 5:40, 5:42, 5:43 a mile. So I'll go out at 5:45, I think, a mile. See who else is running that sort of pace, and hopefully just sit in a pack running that pace.
Yeah,
and we'll see.
Yeah, nice. And shoe choice. I mean, it's probably a given. I think I know what you're going to say. Yeah, but talk us through what you'll probably wear.
I'll go to Kumi's. Definitely.
Just your red and blue shoes. Your odd shoes?
No, I'll probably go for the Takumi 10s, which are the pink ones.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
So I'll probably go for those. Just a pair of split shorts, and then I'm going to wear club vest.
Yep.
So I'm going to wear my B&R vest.
It feels like a big club race, doesn't it, Telford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to represent at these big races, haven't you? You've got to represent your club.
Yeah. I imagine there's going to be quite a few of you there as well. So you probably know a lot of people from. So I imagine a lot of people that seem to do cross country and would love to do Telford 10K, including one of my video. It's very partridge, but one of my video of the weeks I watched this week that I really enjoyed was a cross country video by a guy called Flurry Grierson. I think that's his name. And he did a video of his experience up the front of a race of, I think, the Devon or Exeter County Champs cross country from last week. And really well shot video, really quite enjoyed it. And at the end of it, he said he's doing Telford 10K. So he did he did the cross country race, and then he did a session afterwards because he wanted to, prepare for that. So you'll probably be seeing Flurry in the race.
Well,
he's a Highgate Harrier, I think.
He'll be way up in front. I'm hoping in this wave 1 there are people running my pace, because if wave 2 is for people 31 to 41, or what did it say? Wave 2 was. Wave 2 is for further men 31 to 41. So really, I should probably be in wave 2. So I'm hoping that with most being under 37 minutes in wave 1, there are a few people running my pace of around 36 minutes. So fingers crossed. Otherwise, I'm just coming at the back on my own.
How would you handle that mentally? Because someone like you's always been, let's just say, a parkrun, you're always in the top handful. How would that feel to not be in that top handful? Like, I mean, but I imagine you've had a taste of that at cross country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does it feel weird?
I just know that when you're running parkruns and things like that, it's like being a big fish in a small pond. And yes, you might get in the top 10 each week, but you're just running with people who are out for a Saturday run. When you go to a race, you know that you are a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
And there are so many people who are way quicker than I will ever be in my life. And I know that. And I'm more than happy to be in that situation and know that I'm just running for my time. I'm not trying to win the race or anything like that. I'm not. That's never going to happen. So it's just me against me in races like that.
Yeah. Because I watched.
Obviously, you want to be competitive, and if there's people running the same sort of pace as you, you'll put on a sprint finish to try and finish before them. But it is just a case of I'm trying to run for a time.
Yeah. I watched a video from Telford last year. I think it was the 2 running brooms. And John Broom did it. And I think he was in wave 2. And he was right at the back because he was doing... But he still ran a fairly quick time. I think he still ran sub 41 from memory or around that time. And I remember him just having a little battle with someone else. And he was just like, I could finish last here. But it's crazy because he's running a quick racing time. Yeah. But he's in a wave where there's much faster runners. So it must be a mentally challenging thing to have to deal with. So there's that, there is that added on top of it. Yeah. Be the small fish or the big fish. You can, Yeah.
So it should be fun though. I'm looking forward to it, even though, I don't know what shape I'm in over a 10K, but hopefully, I mean, Tuesday's session this week, man, it was so tough. Tuesday session. It's possibly one of the toughest sessions we do in the club of our winter road sessions. It was a loop, and we started on a road called Ivor Road, which is one of the steepest roads in Redditch. It's proper steep hill.
Yeah.
And the effort for each rep started halfway up the hill. So we started at halfway.
Well, I suppose that's better than the bottom. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
But then the start of the rep is run to the top of the hill,
Yeah.
turn right, and then run down the road, which is flat. And then you turn right again and come down what you've just run up, plus a bit extra.
Yeah.
And then turn right at the bottom of the road and run up to halfway. So it starts and finishes on a hill climb every rep.
Ouch.
And it's about, I think it's just over a kilometre, the loop.
Yeah.
So first of all, it starts on a hill. So by the time you get to the hill, your legs are a bit wobbly and feel like jelly. So when you get out onto that top flat bit, it takes a bit of time for your legs to actually get into a normal stride pattern, because you've got up the hill, so you've shortened your stride and upped your cadence to get to the top of the hill in an effort. So when you get to the top, your cadence is still a bit high and your stride is really short, and it takes a while to really lengthen and go into your normal stride for the flat. Then as soon as you've got into that stride, it starts going downhill. So then it's a completely different stride and cadence pattern again. And then it gradually goes downhill, and then you turn and you've got to like sprint uphill to finish to the rep. So it's a bit all over the place, and it was 7 times that loop. And
do you find that the road sessions are just as, if not more, beneficial than track sessions, because you've got different gravity and you've got different things to bear in mind?
Definitely. And I think having those winter sessions helps with like cross country and stuff as well, because it's getting you to work up hills and stuff like that. So definitely it's good mixing it up and not doing track constantly, because track, although it's mega tough and some of the toughest sessions you'll ever do will be on a track, it is completely flat and it's just run down a straight and run a corner. Whereas when we do these road sessions, there's so many different variations of what the session will be and what the elevation is going to be like, that it really gets you working hard in those different situations.
There's different reps within the rep.
Basically.
You have to dig a bit deeper for different parts of the rep, I imagine. That sounds really quite horrid.
But I think if I remember rightly, the elevation over that training session, so on Tuesday, where are we? So we did 5.84 mile in total. For the 7 reps, and then in between was about 200 meters recovery, and then we went again. So we did 5.84 miles, and there was 830 foot of elevation gain. So it's a decent
100
amount
foot a rep, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a decent amount
of gain. Well, an hour ago nearly, I said that we had a few things to talk about. One thing I completely forgot to talk about was European cross country. Do you want to quickly just mention what happened? I watched a bit of it on the iPlayer.
Oh, you did? You did what?
I watched the men's race, but not the women's.
Yeah, it was good. Some good racing. Obviously, old Jakob went there and just toyed with them all for the first couple of laps, and then just left them all and won by, I think he won by about 7 seconds in the end. Left them all.
There was an Italian, I think, running close to him. That's it. He was quite young. He's won the under 21s, hasn't he? And he's
But that is Jakob's 20th European title. Wow. And bearing in mind, he's only run 22 European races, and he's won 20 of them, which is crazy. So Jakob won the men's, but Great Britain came third in the team of the men's, so that was really good. Rory Leonard had a great race. I think he came ninth overall, so that was an awesome run from him.
Ellis Cross was up there, wasn't he?
Yes, Ellis Cross was doing it as well. Where did Ellis come? Ellis came 25th. And then we had Hugo Milner, who was leading it for quite a bit, and he came 11th.
Yeah.
So
was there someone like with an Italian sounding name? Like
and Toma Tarragano, who is the guy who won Liverpool.
Oh yeah,
from Birmingham Uni. He came 19th. Yeah. So those were our 4 scorers, and that's what helped us get third.
And wasn't there the controversy with that guy that missed out? The guy that took his place didn't even race in the end, did he?
Oh no, Zach Mohammed did race.
Oh, he did.
But one of the guys who got automatic qualifier, apparently he had passport problems. I think his passport had run out and he didn't realise, so he couldn't actually go. So that's why he didn't race.
Oh no!
Oh, no, imagine.
Oh right, that is pretty gutting.
Yeah. And then in the women's, pretty much the same as what Jakob did. The favourite for the race, she stuck with everybody until the last lap and then just disappeared. That was Nadia Battacletti, the Italian, who came second in the 10,000 metres at the Olympics. She's the one who had the mega kick at the end of the 10,000. So she won it. And then the German Klosterhalfen was second, and Turkish runner Can was third. But Britain came second in the team for that. So again, we had another good result there. Then in the under 23 men, we had a gold and a silver for Great Britain. So Will Barnicoat, Will Barnicoat won the under 23 men's European champs. He also won race 1 of Division 1 of our Birmingham League cross country.
Mad.
So race 1, Will Barnicoat won it, and then he went over to Europe and won the under 23s.
Amazing.
So we had gold, Will Barnicoat. Third was David Stone from Great Britain, but second was Nick Griggs. So do you know the Irish guy who?
The
Parkrun world record. Yeah, he came second in the under 23s, and obviously because of our first and second and the other guys, we came first in the team for the under 23s.
Yeah,
under 23 women, our British girl won it as well. She had a great last finish straight, managed to sprint past everybody. So Phoebe Anderson, she won it. And then the British team also came first in the under 23 women. Under 20 men, Niels Laros won it, who is the Dutch guy. I don't know if you know Niels Laros. He was in the Olympics in the 1500. He's a very quick 1500 runner. But he had a really good sprint finish against George Cootie, who is the British lad, and George came second, so he got the silver. And then Britain came fourth in the team for the under 20 men. And then under 20 women, I don't know if you know who Ines Fitzgerald is. If you've heard of her, she just left everybody. She absolutely smashed everybody. So she got the gold by miles. And then Jess Bailey, our another GB athlete, she came second and got silver. And then Great Britain won the team in the under 20 women as well. And then there was the mixed relay as well, and Britain came third in the mixed relay. So Britain had an amazing European cross. As usual, they do really well each year, but they topped the medal table.
The course didn't look too muddy, did it? But did you see the logs?
No. Yes. So, see, this is the thing. it wasn't the best of courses, and because of that, they put some obstacles in to make it tougher.
Yeah.
So there was some logs they had to jump over, some weird brush like fence. It was like they were horse racing. Did you see that?
Yeah,
That
I
one.
saw that. Yeah,
Like a little short fence, but just had like brush bristles
bristles.
sticking out the top.
Yeah,
and then there was a sand bit as well, so that would have sapped their energy running through sand at one point.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like the most technical of courses, and that's why I think they put those obstacles in.
Yeah.
But yeah, amazing results for Great Britain at Eurocross.
Yeah. Well, before we move on to the Strava segment and emails and comments, if we've got enough time, I just wanted to quickly mention that I did a track session on Wednesday, which is my first session back. So last week, I couldn't handle doing no running all week. So I did one run. I did a 5K or something like that on Sunday night. So I was like, I can't have zero. It would have been my first 0K all year. So I did a little run around the block. And then Monday I went out for my normal like 10, 12K loop. And then Wednesday I thought, yeah, I feel fine. I'm ready to go again. I got to track, and the session was 6 to 8 reps of 600 zone 5. And I ended up running it with a lad called Richard, who I said on the 5th rep, I said, I think I'm done after 6. And he's like, yeah, same. Did the 6th rep. I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's do 8. Let's do it. I don't know why. I don't know why I was thinking, let's do 8, but I did. Because I always think halfway through a rep, this lasts forever. I can't stand another one of these. But then you finish it and you hit the lap button. You think, oh, that wasn't too bad. I'll just do one more.
Yeah.
And then, but I was quite pleased because the reps I was doing were sort of sub 20 pace. I was quite pleased with that. But I wore what I seem to get on well with are my Vaporfly 2s. I seem quite enjoy those on the track because they seem to give me a bit of speed, which I quite like. And the day after, and including today, my calves, I've never had pain like it. Because it was the reps were just fast reps. There were no slower reps. It was the recoveries were just recovery jogs. I'd walk 100 meters and then jog recover the last 100, and then we go straight into the next rep. And fair enough, I did a bit of a warm up and a cool down, but it was a hard session. Now my calves feel so stiff, so sore, and it's nowhere else on my legs but my calves. And there's equal pain in both. And I've been trying to massage them, and it's just so sore. And I've not felt pain like it before.
You've still got that fatigue from the marathon in them.
I know.
It's probably a bit early to be going that hard round a track.
I know.
But,
I know.
Yeah.
But I forgot to take that into consideration, really. And now I'm regretting it. But big news from the...
What sort of pace were you running for the reps?
So in Ks, I was trying to aim for 3:45s. So well inside that sub 20.
Yeah.
Because obviously 4-minute Ks get me a sub 20 or 3:59s. So I was managing it. My reps were fairly good, and I think for the 600 it was about 2:16. Does that sound about right for the 600?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I think it was about 2:16, 2:18. So yeah, I was doing quite well, and they were fairly consistent as well. The 8 reps I did. So quite pleased with the track session in total. And then at track, they said, by the way, next week, because it might be their last one of the year, I think that's why they're doing it. They're doing what they call a magic mile, where they're doing it in a couple of waves, where the fast, a bit like Telford, the fast ones will go off first, and then so on and so on. And it's basically 4 and a bit laps of the track. And it's like a race, but not a race, if you know what I mean. It's like a time trial, but we're all going to do it. Everyone at track is going to do it. Yeah. And I haven't got a clue how to race a mile or how to run a mile. I've run a lot of them in the past, but I've never raced a mile.
Yeah. Are they timing it properly, or is it just timing it off your own watch?
I get the feeling it's timing it just off your own watch. So it's not chip, or there's no officials there or anything like that. It's just purely an organised time trial. So I don't know whether to lap it every time I go around the track, every time I do a lap, or do I just let it roll? Just do so I've got the whole,
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Because annoyingly, I'll get a kilometre split, won't I? After
That's
2.5
exactly
laps.
what I was going to say. You need to turn off your K splits if you're going
Yeah.
to do that, or if you manually lap it every lap, you'll get your 4 lap splits, and it won't ever hit a kilometre, so it won't give you your
Yeah.
kilometre
I'm
split.
I'm
So
tempted. I'm tempted to do that. I think I will do
yeah,
that.
do that every lap. Yeah, split it, and then we can see what each
Yeah.
lap is. And
So where will the start and finish line be then? So your traditional finish line for, let's say, the 100
yeah,
meters.
yeah.
That or no, will that be the finish?
So
And
the
you'll start
finish,
10 or 20 yards back.
So the finish will be the finish line. That normally is, and on a
Yeah.
track, there's normally a marker that's 9 meters before that line.
And it's like
So
a curved, slightly curved line.
it ever so slightly, but it's more or less straight because
Yeah.
unless you're starting out in lane 8,
Yeah.
you are pretty much running the same. So it would be ever so slightly curved, but that 9 meters back will allow you to do the 4 laps and 9 meters.
So what would the advice be from you? Get in lane 1 and get
Yes.
to the front in that corner.
Yes.
And that's where you should start, and start quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out hard.
Yeah.
Because what time would you like to run for that
Well,
mile? What are you aiming for?
I don't think I've ever run a sub 6 minute mile. I don't think I have.
Okay.
So I'm laughing like I should be, and that's like slow. That's still quite fast. So I would like a sub 6, I think.
Okay.
Which I think you said is splits of 400 lap splits of
just under 90 seconds. So
90
130s.
seconds.
Yeah. But
I think I could
if
do
you
that.
go out and hit the first 3 laps at 90s, so 1 minute 30 a lap, and then kick down on that last lap, that's probably where you want to be.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is about doing it is 3 or 4 days later, I'm going to have a go at my sub 20 attempt. So I think I'll know going into that Saturday morning where I am, where I'm at, and where my body's at, and where my speed's at, and because I've got to obviously run 3 times as far, haven't I? Because it's only a mile.
Yeah.
But I'm quite looking forward to it. Yeah.
But 30 seconds a mile slower. So
yeah.
a 20-minute 5K is 6:27 a mile.
Yeah.
So if you're going to run a mile under 6 minutes, you'll be able to do that. No worries. I
think that's it, isn't it? If I can run it under 6 minutes, I think going into the parkrun,
then you should run.
I will have had a shocker if I don't.
You should run an 18.5 then.
So we'll talk about pacing strategies next week. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'll let you know on the podcast next week how I get on in that mile. But yes, I'm quite looking forward. Exactly, it's not like a track race. I'll probably put my Takumis on for that. But yeah, I'm quite excited to see how I can do, because I've no idea, because it's basically what sounds like it's going to be a sprint, basically. Not quite a sprint, but not far off for a mile. So quite excited for that.
You'll break 6 minutes easy, I reckon.
Hopefully.
I reckon you'll break 6 minutes easy. But as I say, if you go out 90 seconds for each lap for the first 3, and then kick down on that last lap, and then you'll break 6.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Received and understood. Run for my life. Go out fast, and then just don't breathe for 6 minutes, and you should be fine.
Exactly. Yeah. Shall we
endure the pain?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, there's nothing like track pain. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Shall we quickly do a couple of emails?
Okay.
And then the Strava segment, and then we might have to leave comments once again until next week.
We'll leave until next year. So just to quickly, we've only got 3 emails to get through. One of them has just come in this morning from Stephen Grice, aka the Mumbai buyer at Newport, that surprised me shouting Mumbai bye. So Stephen is, I think, an Aldridge runner. He always wears that blue vest. I've seen him at races and things. And so you'll have to let us know how you got on at Berlin, Stephen, because I remember meeting you at Worcester, and you said you'd got to Berlin. So hopefully that went well. He says, he's written in to say, just want to say huge well done, Andy. What a run in Valencia. It's been incredible listening along about your training, and that PB is truly deserved. And all that hill training will definitely come in handy for cross country in the new year. Sticky out tonguey face. Brett, congratulations on the London place. Looking forward to hearing all about the training block on the pod. Sure that you're going to smash it. Superb stuff to listen to on the long run as always, guys. Have a good Christmas and New Year. Well done on the first and the 1 year anniversary of the pod when it comes around soon. Cheers, Stephen. Nice one, Steve-O.
Awesome.
Cheers for your support all this time. It's been massively, massively appreciated. Going back to November, we had an email coming from Philip Wright, who says, "Hi guys, just a quick message to say hi and let you know that I love listening to the show. I started listening when you were about 20 shows in and have now fully caught up. It's a highlight of the week when the new episode drops on a Saturday. You're a big inspiration, and I feel that the dynamic of the show is brilliant. You both come across as genuine nice guys, and I'm sure that that's part of the reason the show is such a success. I'm 44 and I got into running more seriously about 2 years ago. I'd always done a bit of running, but more cycling and gym work. A shoulder injury prevented me from weight training, so I focused more on running, and now it's something that I love. I run 4 times a week, and it's great. It's a great feeling to build greater endurance, to see the times coming down. The one problem that I do have with running is a slight addiction to buying shoes. Following listening to you, my preferred brand is Adidas, and I've recently brought a pair of Takumi 10s in pink,
yes,
which I'm liking a lot. My other favourites are Boston 12s, which I don't think can be beaten as my favourite daily. Anyway, keep up the fantastic work and best of luck with your health and running. All the best, Phil Wright. P.S. Andy, love your dog. She's adorable. We've got a 5-year-old Springer called Ziggy, and he is crazy. And as you would expect from that breed, but we love him to bits. Well, Phil, I know the feeling. I've got a crazy spaniel, and yeah, let's just set him up. In fact, let's get him in a room and let's lock them away together so they can just, hopefully cancel each other out.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice. I think we're a bit addicted to shoes as well. So
yeah, amazing. Thank you for that email. Yeah, I've got to say, the Takumi 10s are a great shoe. But yeah, as you said, the Boston 12s, I loved my Boston 12s. I hit maximum mileage in that shoe quite quickly because I wore them so much, and I wore them for pretty much everything. I did most of my Manchester training block, most of my long runs with the marathon efforts were in the Boston 12. A great shoe.
Do you think that Adidas, I mean, it's perfect marketing spin, isn't it? Do you think they're coinciding releasing a daily trainer in January for all those people training for spring marathons?
Yeah, very much so.
It's perfect time. Are you going to pick that up, the new Adidas SL?
I really want a pair of the SLs, the Evo SLs, but I also want a pair of the Pro 4s, and I can't really be spending 400-500 quid in January on shoes. So
you say that, but 20 quid says you'll get them both. You know it. You know it's happening. You know you're going to get them. I can just see it now. You won't eat for a month, but you'll have 2 new pairs of shoes.
Oh, no.
Because once you see the reviews start to come in and you'll see people start, you think, I can't not get these. So, there's my little 20 quid bet between us two.
Okay.
But yeah, he's got the same Takumi 10s in pink as you that you're going to be rocking in Telford.
Yeah. Great pair of shoes.
So we've had, cheers for that, Phil. I think it was Phil, wasn't it, who said that, who just wrote in? Yeah, Phil Wright. Thanks, mate. This one is the last one from Rob, and he says, "Hi, Brett and Andy, sending this as an email as it's probably too long for a video comment. Just wanted to say that following Andy's Valencia block on the pod and his videos has already got me counting down the weeks until Manchester 2025, which I'm signed up for and happens to fall on my 43rd birthday. Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Marathons are a funny old beast. I'm torn between not wanting to put all my eggs in one basket when it comes to running goals and recognizing that there is something just a bit more special about training for and competing in a marathon. Andy's superb Valencia video, thanks very much, video just brought that home. On the one hand, most people can only do 1 or 2 marathons a year. So I think people could be missing out on so much more from running. Getting that 5K or 10K PB, cross country or racing on the track, etc. Only focusing on the 26.2 than only focusing on the 26.2. I have a target in mind for Manchester, which is similar to Andy's Valencia goal, but with two young kids and a full-on job, I know that I'm probably going to struggle to get the training volume most people say is necessary to reach my marathon potential. I will, of course, do my best, but I can't make that marathon goal define my success in running. There are plenty of other things to go for, and getting my 10K PB in under 40 minutes would make me just as proud. On the other hand, without signing up to Manchester in 2024, I wouldn't be where I am today on my running journey because only by committing to enough training to get round the course did I improve my fitness to the point where suddenly a world of possibilities opened up. And seems crazy that all this happened in 2024. Maybe marathons are the gateway drug we all need to join this crazy world of lactate turn points and arguing over what defines a steady pace. Whatever happens in 2025, I hope my long runs will continue to be accompanied by the pod, and I look forward to Andy smashing that sub 20, Brett going to 2:45 in London, and whatever else. Well, Rob said it, so you got to do it. And whatever else you have both planned for the year. Cheers, guys. It's on, and aha!
Amazing.
Nice one, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
cheers,
of food
Rob.
for thought there.
Yes. Yeah. It's. Go on.
There's so much to be said to that because, yes, marathons are the gateway drug. And like I was saying earlier, once you've got that marathon training in your legs, everything just seems so much more easier. And goals that you thought never were possible in 5K and 10K are now reachable. So if you've got the time in a perfect world, do 100 mile a week. But we don't live in a perfect world. If you've got a young family or if you've got work life or whatever reason, it means you just literally can't. There's not enough hours in the day. There aren't enough hours in the day. So you can only do what you can do, which we feel you're paying massively for because it sounds like, you really want to go for this Manchester target. But we've got no doubt that you'll get yourself ready for Manchester by hook or crook and however you do it. We know that you'll put everything into it. And running marathons are awesome, but they're not the be all and end all. There are plenty of other distances that you can focus on. And like you say, a 10K PB can give you so much more joy than a marathon PB maybe it's just a case of lining up what your priorities are. And maybe you'd be more happy with like you say, a sub 40 10K over a marathon PB. But lot to think about and a really good email that I don't have the answers for.
Yeah, I think when you run a marathon, you go through so many different stages of mental toughness and physical toughness that it changes the way you think about all types of running, and it changes the way you think about what effort you can put into the other distances. So 5K is a horrible distance because it is just effort from the start. But going through a marathon and feeling that marathon pain towards the end of 26 miles, it gets you into a headspace of, it's all right, I can do this for 3 mile. Yeah.
But I mean, maybe going for your shorter distance, like your cross country, your 5K, your 10K, your track stuff, that can still be your target. But maybe you could have a different goal for your Manchester. Maybe it could be you just don't want to walk, or maybe it could be you want to get a course PB, or it could be I don't know. You want to beat last year's time, which might be a PB. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you just put the work in, it normally all comes together. But I mean, if you can't do the training, you can't do the training. But it's such a tough one because I'm in a fortunate position where I probably can, put the miles in. But if your hands are tied, you can do the Sam Bauer school of thought, which is basically do about 10 miles a week and then turn up to a marathon and smash it anyway.
Yeah.
So, and just like you said, just endure the pain, like Brett was saying, and just remember your training, remember that pain cave that you put yourself in the 10K PB or sub 40 10K, and you can try and take something from that. But marathons are hard. You can plan for a marathon and it might not. You put all your eggs in one basket, like you said, and your marathon could just be, could be a mess from the first mile because of something that went wrong. You could have dropped all your gels. That happened, didn't it, to an elite runner we were talking about last week, who did 2:15 or something, dropped all his gels after a couple of K. So you can plan and plan and plan for 4 months plus, and then it could all go out the window straight away. And what's that Mike Tyson quote about being punched in the face? Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. And there's more time to get punched in the face in a marathon than there is in a 5K. So that's what makes it so special, I guess. Yeah, definitely.
But let's move on to the Strava segment. Or
can you say it properly, please? Thank you.
So our last week's leaderboard, our first place was Ryan Baker from Rayleigh's Adventures with 75.1 miles.
Well in, right.
Second was Nathan Hampson with 62.1.
Well done,
and mate. Third was Mike Harding with 60.4.
Well done.
Our elevation top three. In first place was Roberto Mendez with 4,790 foot. Second place was Ryan Gowan or Gorn. I'm not sure how you say that. Hopefully Gowan is right. Sorry, Ryan, if I got that wrong. With 4,327 foot. And third is Ash Spedding with 3,773 foot.
Well done.
And then top three ladies. In first place is Dee Cook Rees, who actually came fourth overall from everyone, which is amazing, with 58.2 miles. Second place was Chloe Hamard with 51.4. And third place was Sophie Voller with 38.8 miles. So amazing work from everybody on last week's leaderboard. Before we finish, though, I do just want to say one thing, and I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has purchased a Obi-Wan Run Club item, whether it was a running tee, a reflective beanie, or a running cap. I have been really, it's been amazing that so many people have gone for it and made an order. So I really do appreciate it. If anybody is looking for one, please go onto my website and have a look and see what there is.
Do you do hoodies? Do you do one of these? I'll have one of
them. No, thank you to everyone. It's ace to know that people are supporting what we do. So thank you very much. Have you got anything else that
any other business? I don't think. Oh yes, next week is our Christmas special. We haven't talked about this, but it's a Christmas special next. No, basically it's going to be 3 days before Christmas, so we'll try and put some Christmas style themed things in there. Maybe we'll talk about what Christmas dinner we'll have, or what we want for Christmas.
Do you know what might be really good? Because I've had people mention this to me, is for 1 week only have a return of Brett's End of the Podcast quiz.
I've already thought about it. I've already set a plan on it.
Yes.
It's going to be Christmas themed. For 1 week only, Brett's on End of the Podcast quiz, the Christmas special, will be coming back. So look forward to that next week. Yeah. So as soon as we get to 2 hours, just add on an extra 45 minutes.
Yeah.
The Christmas special quiz.
Yeah. Amazing. But so thank you so much for listening or watching we really do appreciate all of the support from everybody. And we shall see you for a Christmas special next week. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys. See you later, guys. How many other times can I get the word guys in? Bye, guys. Take it easy, guys.